So welcome everyone. This is our mobility and flexibility class. Welcome. This will be our last mobility and flexibility class at 9 a.m. The next 2 weeks, which are the last 2 weeks of the term, we will go at a later time, probably go closer to 1 o'clock, as well as we'll have a video option if you can make that session there. Okay, just some scheduling conflicts, but appreciate you folks being here on time. Um, and yeah, let's get started. So we'll start on the chair, work our way down, some standing exercises, and then I do want to spend a little bit more time on some floor stretches, something that we haven't been able to do too much on the floor. But yeah, so we'll just skip the facial exercises. So let's go ahead and begin by looking left to right. Just here, left to right. Up and down, up. Let's go with the next circles. Hi, Doris. Hello.
Hello.
Morning. So just gentle switch directions here. All right, let's go ahead and look to our left, add a little bit of pressure, your chin here. Let's turn right, add pressure there. Try to look straight and then look up. A little bit of pressure from the bottom portion of your chin, up. And look down, grab a hold of the top back of your head, push down. Right, let's go ahead and sit on our left hand. Move that right hand over, allow that elbow to drop. Let's go ahead and switch. Sit on that left hand over here. Sorry, sit on that right hand. Very good. All right, we're gonna start with Snow Angels. So just gentle. Okay, single arm windmill. And then just an update, I have re-enrolled folks for the fall semester. So I believe I I forget. I couldn't do just everyone on Monday on both Monday classes that are in the fall since there's 2 8-week terms. Same with the Wednesday. So I think if you are in this class, you should be in the first 8-week term class, reverse. And then if you're on my Saturday class, you should be in the second. Well, if you're in this class, you would be in the Wednesday first 8-week terms. And if you're on my Saturday class, you should be in the second term on Wednesdays. So if that makes sense, switch. And then if you're on my Monday class, you're also in the first Monday um, class for the first 8-week term. And then the second 8-week term, I believe it's if you are, I want to say if you are in uh, my Thursday class. For some reason, I couldn't transfer what I had on my Tuesday class. So yeah. So anyways, if you're in most of my classes, you should roll over. But if you happen not to be in any of those 4 classes that I just mentioned, switch, you might have to enroll on your own. Saw a couple people had already enrolled. Uh, it's not very hard. I think there's instructions for that, but like I said, I think most folks are re-enrolled. It should be appearing pretty soon on my end and hopefully on yours too. Very good. Good. We'll continue with the shoulders. I'm gonna take my shoes off. So, shoulders. I'm gonna go ahead and do some shoulder circles. Just up, up here. Reverse. Very good. Right. Well, we're gonna switch back and forth between our back and our shoulders. So we're here, sitting towards the front of the chair. Reach up towards the ceiling, all the way to the top, bottom, in, and reset. 2, 3, 5, 6. We're doing a total of 10 of these. 7, 8, 9. Very good. Right. We're gonna go ahead and continue on that shoulder. Bring that shoulder, right shoulder up. Just drop that forearm down, back up. Right. Bring it back in. Left shoulder comes up and drop it. Very good. Right. Working again, separating the arms a little bit so palms are down and just tap that opposite shoulder. Right. We're gonna do a poliplane lateral raise. So remember here, up, extend, down. So here, up, extend, down. Let's do four more. Very good. All right, we're gonna do Arnold press here. Very good. Shoulders getting a little fatigue. Let's go ahead and do a little bit of a trunk rotation. So grab a hold of your side and just gentle stretch. We'll switch. Left side. All right. Good. We're gonna do a different compound movement. So again, this is gonna be a front raise to an outside extension and then up, back down. So front raise, out, and up. Again, just working on that shoulder joint. Let's do two more. One more. Very good. All right. Let's go ahead. We did opposite. So now we're going to do tricep press down. So palms are behind you. Come up and push down. Make sure it's a little bit intentional. So you're pushing down. You're not just letting your hands fall down. You're actually pushing down, activating your triceps a little bit more. Good. All right, door openers. So elbow at your side and then external rotation out. Just doing the opposite of when we were doing this one here. So it's going to do the opposite work. Okay, we'll switch. So left elbow here, tuck in, draw. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Very good. We did our trunk rotation. Let's go ahead and move down to our hips. Okay. So right leg comes out. Make sure it doesn't collapse down. I'm going to keep it up. Placing your hand here. Sure. Switch, left side. Very good. Right, let's work our way down to our forearm. So allow that forearm to collapse past your knee. Push down and relax. So again, you're pushing down. Opposite hand is pushing back up. Okay, push, back up. 2, 3 more. Morning, Kathleen. Last one.
Coach.
Morning. Alrighty, good. Let's focus on that right hand alone. So each finger to the center of your hand without bending the knuckles. Okay, now each finger, and we're trying to bend every knuckle on the way down. So individually, okay, trying not to bend other fingers around it. I know it's really tricky, especially that middle finger always feels like it's moving constantly. You can't like, well, I can't move my middle finger without the index finger moving as well. All right, now we're gonna separate, so web your fingers out so we can work on the little tendons between your fingers. Close, so web them out, close, web, close, out, teeth now. Now make a fist, relax, fist, relax, fist. Right? And then just you could have your palm closed and then just kind of rotate your wrist. So I like going back and forth, lateral motion towards my body, away from my body, and then also up and down. So we're making, I think forget the count, but it's over 20 bones in your wrist, your hand. You're gonna make sure that you're moving our hands so all those little joints are, being utilized. Right? Switch to the other hand. So again, palm is down, hand is pushing down. Yeah, so same idea with your feet. They have a lot of bones there and tendons. So one of my one of my good friends, he actually had to get surgery in one of his bones because two of his bones in his foot were fused together, and he didn't know about it until X-rays were taken uh, later in life. So yeah, they had to pretty much break up or break his bones. Okay. All right, let's go ahead, one finger at a time. Give me 1 second. I could hear Julian crying for me, that he was looking for me. So,
Oh,
yeah, did you guys hear him?
yes.
Yeah, I want my daddy.
I want my daddy.
Yeah, he uh, he always asks me, or if I'm going to work, because he always wants to be part of it. Now let's bend each finger, each knuckle. Um, so if I'm here, he wants to come and see you in the screen, and he used to be super shy about it before, but now he likes coming. And then if I go to practice, I've taken him to practice a couple times, and it's a big field, so he's just running around and he loves it. So yeah, he thinks I have like the coolest job, which I agree. Each finger, but yeah, but he always wants to come with. Let's separate fingers away from each other. Back. Step up some wet grass. I think he's about to go to daycare right now. So let him out. Okay, and then again, make a fist. Relax. Fist. Yeah, so in case you joined a little bit late, I was just making announcements about the next 2 weeks, how we will have this class. It's pretty much the Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday class, so this will have to be around 1 o'clock the next 2 weeks. And then also I have, yeah, and then let's just move this out in and out part in and then out and then up and down. So just move in different directions. And then I already began the re-enrollment process. So I believe if you're in my Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday classes, you should be re-enrolled to all 4 classes next semester, which is starts August 18th. All right, awesome. Let's move on to our lives now. So
And that's at 9 a.m.
yes, yes. So in the fall, it's only Monday, Wednesday, and that's at 9 in the morning. Yep. Back into our original schedule. And yeah, so I believe the first one goes from August 18th, probably until the first week or second week of October. Let's push down gently. And then the next 8 weeks goes from like the following week until mid-December, I believe December 13th. I wrote that date down because I think we're trying to travel a little bit right after that. So when we have like a 3-week window where we could try to get away for a little bit, or if we could do any international travel would be during that week or those weeks. But my uncle, he's turning 75, and my cousin wants to do this pretty big celebration. So I want to make sure I'm not traveling during that weekend. So I think I'm gonna help out with the getting the mariachi for him. Switch. You should throw that right on that performance. Took went to go see Lilo and Stitch yesterday after class with the kids. It's fun.
How was it?
It was cute. Yeah, let's push down. Yeah, I think the little girl they chose, um, yeah, she was good. Good actor, and then the animations were good, and yeah, it had a nice. I don't completely remember the animated one, uh, but yeah, but the plot is it's cute. Um,
I'm going to take my 2 granddaughters to see it.
yeah, no, you should. Julian was he said it was a scary movie, but I think he said that because it was his first time in the dark movie theater. So I think he was just more nervous about the environment because as soon as we got there and the previews were playing, he was already like had me by the arm and he wouldn't let go. And then yeah, I think maybe the last 20 minutes of it, he was walking up and down our row. So I think it was just long enough. Any longer, I think he would have been causing mayhem. Um, but it helped that there was other little kids there too, and they were also being loud. So yeah, so I didn't feel left out. All right, let's take a little water break. So grab some water. About half hour into the class.
I have a question.
Yep.
Do we have access to the videos when in between semesters?
Yeah, as long as you subscribe, he should. Yeah. So um
Subscribe to the videos?
subscribe to the channel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, So pretty much, yeah, if you subscribe to the channel, you should have access to that. It's you lose access to the Canvas shell once the
Yeah.
term is over. Yep. So, but if you subscribe to the channel, you should have access. Um, so yeah, so those will be uploaded. And there's some where if I'm talking too much or something, sometimes those or if we have like super great attendance, I won't upload it because most people were there. But yeah, but sometimes but most videos should be uploaded on there. Let's recline back. I think I want to say I'm like, and then let's extend. I want to say there's probably over 200 videos now. Um, so yeah, so if you go to like my oldest videos, you could kind of see where I've been living over the last 4 years, last 5 years. So, but yeah, those are on there.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. So let's extend. Okay, and then let's out and out. Yeah, and the gaps though, they're so small, but yeah, it does help. But as I mentioned, our last session for the summer is August 2nd, switch, so left leg. And then we start August 18th again. So yeah, we go 16 days without classes, 2 weeks essentially. And then from December until spring, I think that might be our longest break. That might be closer to um, 3 weeks, or it might just be 2.5. I think it seems longer because we end on a Wednesday and start on a Monday compared to like ending on a Saturday and starting on a Monday. So, but it might be the same amount, 2 weeks. But we never pretty much go without seeing each other for more than like 20 days. It's usually like that's the longest we'll go. And here, I looked at the calendar for the fall. I believe we have Labor Day weekend or that Monday. It's a holiday. I think Veterans Day lands on a Tuesday. Um, Now let's go ahead and do our heel raises. Give me about 20 of those. Veterans on a Tuesday, so that shouldn't affect that week. Um, and then I want to say the big one might be. I need to double check and confirm as we get closer, but we might be having all of Thanksgiving break off. So there's some years where I feel like we still go through it, because it's just Thursday, Friday. But I know depending on the academic year or the district, sometimes now let's go with our toe raises. Sometimes it's the entire week. Other than that, yeah, I don't think there's any holidays in October. Okay, and your ABCs. Feel like a long time ago, maybe back when I was in the LA school district, uh, the Columbus Day was a holiday, like a day off school, but it's been a minute. Uh, It's just February seems like there's like one every week. February and then March and April it's spring break. Spring break is completely like everywhere. Some school districts start as like early as mid-March, and then some other districts go as late as mid-April. So, but we usually go like the first or second week of April for Santa Ana. Right? So feet are flat on the floor, and then just kind of scrape, just claw to the floor. Right, very good. Right, let's get on our feet and let's look for our pole or foam roller so we could work on our shoulders a little bit of stand up, some stretches on our feet as well. Then we'll transition to the floor and finish off there. Let's look for foam roller. Right. If you're ready, we're here and just left to right. All right, left shoulder, ready, guide with that right hand. Thirty degrees. $60. 90, right in front of you. Right towards the back. Right shoulder now. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8. 60 degrees now. $60. Is that 60 or 90? Sorry, lost my train of thought. All right, let's go 90. Towards the back. So behind the back. Drop it down. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. Lift. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, we're gonna do a little bit of work on our feet. Let's start with some trunk rotation. Right here, just gentle. So ab circles. And then big hula hoops. Switch. Very good. All right, let's get our yoga mats and set up. We'll finish off on the floor. Grab some water, like. All right. Okay, so let's belly down. You could stretch and reach in front of you with your hands. Push back and with your feet. Reach. All right, let's rest on our elbows. Rest in here on our elbows. All right, let's use our hands and push. Over stretch right here. Stretch. So from here, we're gonna bring our glutes to our heels. So just come back to heel. Reset. Okay, we're gonna bring our right shoulder down. Just rest on it. Rest on that right shoulder. Reset. Rest on that left shoulder. Okay, from here we're gonna do our leg circles. So I'll rotate slightly. So I'm just gonna go leg straight out and then just do circles. So give me about 8 to 10 little circles one direction and rest your leg to the other leg. Okay, now go back to that original leg and let's go counterclockwise. Nice switch. Counterclockwise again. Very good. Okay. From here we are on our fours. Let's go ahead, shuffle to the left side with our hands. Once we are here, arch up. Bring your glutes back. And relax right here. Reset. Let's go to the right side. Arch up. Come back. Reset. We're gonna lay on our side now. Gonna lay on our side. Okay. So I'm laying on my right side. Top leg and left leg. I'm gonna swing it as far forward as I can. Once I can't anymore, I'm gonna drop my heel. I should feel a nice stretch. My lower back running to right behind my knee. If you have tile floor, your foot might be slipping a little bit, or if you have a smooth surface. Swing it back. Swing it all the way back and drop it again. Very good. Switch sides. On my left side now, so swing that top leg forward and drop. Okay, swing it further back. drop. Very good. Okay. All right, we're gonna do our knee drop. So sit up position, hands to your side, and just drop your knees to the left, to the right. Okay, rest a little bit. Rest. Want, you could bring your knee up towards your chest and just pull. I'm gonna do a variation of knee drops after this one. Just pull. Right here with your foot, you could just kind of bring it towards your toes towards you and then push away. Switch. Very good. All right, we're gonna do knee drops again, but now our feet are gonna be elevated. So right here, it's a little bit more challenging, requires more core work. So again, drop left, come back, drop right, and repeat. We're gonna do a total of 5 on each side. All right, very good. All right, last one. We're gonna finish off with our book openers. Okay, so our ankles are stacked, knees are stacked hip over hip, hand on hand, and follow that top hand all the way back, and then follow it back. We're gonna do 8 of these on each side. Three, 4, 5, 6, 7. Good. Switch. Switch sides or just roll over. Again, give me 8 there. 2, 3, 4. Good job, folks. 5. Let's continue to stretch. Share your breathing. 6, I'll throw one last one in there. Thanks. We've done the butterfly stretch. So you could do butterfly stretch, just kind of tuck in your heels, drop your knees, and if you're feeling a little bit more flexible, you could do that pose. Then just come back down and rest on your back. If you're able to do that, let's hold for about a minute. So that position. Nice. Hips are getting some nice stretching in. Just let your legs relax, kind of collapse away from that stretch. All right. Good work, everyone. Nice solid hour of stretching today. How's everyone feeling?
Good. It helps my soreness.
Good. Yeah. Me three. Yeah. My hamstring felt funny this morning, but it feels better now. But yeah, I think the weather is a little bit nicer this week, so you might be able to enjoy a walk midday compared to just the mornings, but I feel like we're in the early part of summer still, so still continue to hydrate, sleep plenty. So yeah, just remember sometimes like I tell my athletes on the team, if injury or something happens where we're not feeling great, it's not so much of like um, some sudden movement or it's usually not enough rest or not enough hydration or poor nutrition. So it's stuff that we have a little bit more control over. So yeah, just stay on top of that stuff and you should be golden. So any questions before we head out?
No, thank you.
All
Thank
right,
you for
folks. I'll
your.
see you tomorrow. All right, Olivia. Bye, ladies. Bye, folks.
Bye-bye.
All right, take care.
Gracias, Julio.
Always. All right. Bye-bye, Ramon.
Bye.
Bye, Teresa, Jan, Sarah, Noor, Olivia, Mr. Ahmed. Bye-bye.
¿Mande?